morning, everybody. This is the one and only Heavy Metal 95 here. This is going to be an update collection of my small CD collection on there. I wanted to get, more albums, starting with one of my favorite bands, Kiss. As you all noticed, I'm wearing my Kiss shirt. Sorry about the hair. Yeah, it's my Kiss shirt as well, because I will pick up the rest of the remaining Kiss albums, because I will start my updated collection of my Kiss CD collection, because for right now I have 4 CDs of the albums from Kiss, which is in the Kiss catalog as well. I only got 4 so ever. Some I got as a gift back in 2009. One I got was from Walmart. One I got for Christmas back in 2012, and the other I got was from Half Price Books, just to give you a wall for this as well, just so I can learn for the fact. Excuse me. If I was a little groggy or something, I haven't slept well because my neck was a little hurting whenever I was trying to figure out, so yeah. So, the first one I'm going to start off with, well, this is basically my first Kiss album I have ever bought. Although, most of them I've done album reviews like these a while back, which I'll get into more discussion about this as well. Okay, the first CD I got right here, and that is Kiss's album, Dynasty. Even though I've already done my most recent album review back in probably February, which was 3 months ago, because I just wanted to give it a little fact for this as well. Even though this album from Kiss, which is the Dynasty, a lot has called this as the disco record, and not only that, this has led to the downfall when Kiss had lost some fans because of the disco record, because, some of them didn't like this album because of the song I Was Made for Loving You, because they thought it was too disco-ish as well, when Kiss had the idea of... But not only that, the song I Was Made for Loving You off of this album became the well-known hit classic as well. And that's from whatever I wanted to come by for this album. However, just considering that this album has always led to the downfall for what Kiss had went through as well. And not only that, there's some good songs off of this album, because I consider this as the most well-listened albums to enjoy. There's some good songs off this album, like Sure Know Something, I Was Made for Loving You, Charisma, Hard Times, Save Your Eyes, X-Ray Eyes, Save Your Love. However, 2000 Man is obviously a Rolling Stones cover. Ace did vocals on that. Peter Criss did only the drums and vocals on Dirty Living. However, Charisma and X-Ray Eyes, Gene Simmons did vocals on that. I like some songs off this album, though, because if I had to pick some of my favorite songs off this album, I would say Charisma, because to me, Charisma is one of my favorite songs off of this album from Kiss as well. Even though I just wanted to come by for this as well. The next album I got right here, and that is Carnival of Souls, The Final Sessions. This was the grunge record that Kiss has done. I mean, this production was almost unfinished as well, because, well, this have wanted to come by for this. This was like the third-rate grunge album that Kiss has done. Unlike Dynasty, which was the disco record Kiss did, Carnival of Souls: The Final Sessions is basically the grunge record that Kiss has done in the 90s. However, this image was, I don't know, this was how they do this. I mean, I like the image though, because this looks like something of how you expect as well. However, we did see Bruce Kulick on this one, and Eric Singer on, because this is the last Kiss album when they were not wearing the makeup, because it was supposed for this as well, because there was a reunion tour going on with the original Kiss lineup. You know, consider that Kiss was formed by Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Peter Criss, and Ace Frehley, especially for the reunion tour. They had to finish this album quick. There's some good songs on there from this album I like, such as, let's see, Jungle, there's I Walk Alone, Master and Slave, In My Head. A lot of them claim it's like a third-rate grunge album as well. However, this was before Kiss released their album Psycho Circus back in the late 90s, like probably around 1998 as well. And finally, we're into the other Kiss albums, like this leads to the last one. However, this only features Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer. Considered Ace Frehley left the band Kiss since 2002. Peter Criss left the band Kiss since 2004, whenever he was replaced by Eric Singer as well. This album I have right here, Sonic Boom. However, this CD has the Kiss classics, which are basically the 2008 re-recording of Kiss's hit songs on there. And this one also includes the DVD, which is Kiss Live in Buenos Aires in that one, which is the live in concert. And we get to this one I have right here, once again. And this is the album I have right here that I also got. Monster. This was the final album from Kiss as well, because I didn't know... Oh, sorry about the camera. Hold on. Yeah. I didn't know that this was their final album, because this was before, 2019 came, when Kiss planned their end of the road tour until they did their last concert performing live at Madison Square Garden back in 2023, which I understand. However, this was the last Kiss album as well. And out of all this as well, these two albums from Kiss, like Sonic Boom and Monster, which is their final albums, they only featured Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer on that one, because I just didn't know that one had Eric Singer. Although Eric Singer did do the drums on Kiss's albums like Carnival of Souls, The Final Sessions, and Revenge on that one as well in 1992, along with Bruce Kulick. However, Kiss's albums were like glam metal albums in the 80s, like Lick It Up, Animal Lies, Asylum, Crazy Nights, and Hot in the Shade as well. And all I gotta say about that one. However, Eric Carr only appeared on the albums like Music from the Elder until he did their last album with Kiss, which was Hot in the Shade, if I'm not mistaken. Because this is how I was considered for the most part. Even though Kiss has done success with their classic albums, like their first album, as well as Hotter Than Hell, Dress to Kill, Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun, as well as the solo albums of the each Kiss members on there in 1978, as well as their live albums, such as Kiss Alive 2, if I'm not mistaken, And Kiss had put out the merchandise in the height of the success of the Kiss comic book, put out by Marvel Comics, printed in real Kiss blood as well. And this is before they led to their downfall when they did their album Dynasty in 1979 as well. Considering that Anton Fig only played drums on both this album and Unmasked, which is before Anton Fig becomes the drummer for the David Letterman show, even though he was a session drummer on both Kiss albums, such as Dynasty and Unmasked, if I'm not mistaken, though. Because, especially if you're a Kiss fan, and you might know about this, because I just wanted to say about this according for what I learned about this as well. But overall, I have saved up all 4 of these Kiss albums on CD because I have a feeling I'm going to get the rest of the remaining Kiss albums. Considering that Dynasty, which is Kiss's album released back in 1979, a lot of them call it as the disco record in 1979. I think that's around the same year as AC/DC's album Highway to Hell, which ironically, AC/DC's album Highway to Hell is the more popular album and it has more success. Unlike Kiss's album Dynasty, because a lot of the claim was the downfall as well. But I came in retrospect, and now I learned because I have been reading books about the band Kiss, which it all has got to my mind as well. And that's the real main reason I've wanted to get the albums as well. So that's 4 CDs total, and I will get the rest of the albums in the discography, as well as a couple of these live albums from Kiss on CD, like Kiss, like I mentioned before, Kiss Alive 2, even though I've already planned to get those at some point as well. And that's the real truth for this. Truth thing is, because I just wanted to now come by for this, just considering I got 4 of these albums as well, because, however, when I first bought Kiss's album Dynasty at Half Price Books, because if you look at the disc on here, this one has the Polygram Records logo, but on top it has the Casablanca Records label on there, recording, if you all don't notice as well. Just to give you for the fact. And that's how it is. So that's going to be it for my CD update for today. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, especially if you're new to the channel. Smack the like button if you enjoyed the video. Hit the notifications bell button for more surprises if you missed anything new. Leave a comment in the comment section below if you like as well. And that's all I have that I got. So this is Heavy Metal 95 signing off. And thank you for watching my video, and I'm glad you liked it. Hope you enjoy it. Hope to see you soon for the next video. Be sure to stay safe and stay healthy. Hope you all have a great day. Take care. Goodbye for now. Stay tuned for more videos that I got them planned soon for what's in store.